Why even hire a financial advisor? What do they do that's so valuable? Well, in today's video, we're going to look at a few key questions that'll help you understand whether a financial advisor is right for you and what they actually do. I'm a certified financial planner, and for over a decade now, certain questions come up time and again. The world of financial planning is complicated and at times it's pretty vague. It can be difficult for most retirees to know exactly where they stand with it all. Well, today we're going to help you shed some light on the industry by reviewing a few key questions to simplify your decision-making process and help you figure out exactly if they're worth it. With that said, let's get into the video. Most of the time, people don't think about advisors until they have a problem to solve. The problem of getting an inheritance, the problem of investing, the problem of navigating taxes, or the problem of retiring the way that they want to. People seek out advisors when they have a problem to solve, and many times they discover that hidden gem that the best professionals provide. And that is, the best professionals tend to help people identify what's important to them about the future and then set targets so they can pursue their highest desires and get on a path and stay the course. So ask yourself these questions. Question number one, are you comfortable managing your retirement portfolio and enjoy learning about financial topics? You'll know that you're a yes if you're constantly buried in books and classes, not articles. And I say this because articles are like 90% motivated by getting clicks, but books and classes tend to be the real deal. And it's going to take that level of knowledge to successfully stay the course because you won't have anyone acting as your sounding board throughout retirement. So if you answer yes to this question, then you're comfortable being your own retirement income advisor. It means that you're capable of deciding on and following a withdrawal strategy, and you have no problem properly implementing the rules of that strategy consistently. You're able to make sure that you're allocated correctly, systematically rebalancing, and maybe you'd even take it as far as having a forward-looking tax strategy. It'll be crucial for you to stay tuned into certain financial topics, especially as time goes on during retirement, because your comfort level and your competence level can be put to the test, as I'm going to point out in the next few questions. Now, if you answer no to this question, then that means you would be better off delegating those things to a team or an advisor. The worst thing that could happen is you start something and you don't stay on top of it because you really get into the retirement lifestyle and you're just not as disciplined as you used to be. I'm reminded of one of our clients who was competent with his portfolio, but as time went on and he got away from his rigid work schedule, his priorities changed and he wanted to spend his time doing other things. Question two, are you confident in your ability to avoid common financial mistakes, especially as you approach retirement? You might be a yes if you not only feel confident, but you also know what those mistakes look like. Those mistakes are allocation, taxes, and the amount of dollars that you have saved to fund your retirement. So one mistake is your portfolio allocation prepared for your changing season? Meaning that phase that you're coming up to or you're about to enter into in the next few years. Another mistake is failing to optimize your tax allocation. And this is where you measure the dollars that you've saved in different types of accounts according to their tax handling. And it's common to use the years before retirement to begin to shift some of those dollars around so you can have a more tax efficient retirement. Next is over-saving or under-saving. And this is all about knowing that you have an adequate amount of dollars saved to sustain your lifestyle in retirement. People are on two polar opposite sides of the coin with this. Some people overestimate and they could have retired sooner than they thought. Other people are on the opposite side and they're planning on spending way too much of their savings each year and they're really maybe not thinking hard enough about it. People choose to work with financial planners because they don't feel competent in tackling these subjects in a fully competent way. And these are really important tasks to handle because each item you prepare well for can make your money go further and your retirement be a whole lot more enjoyable and less stressful. It's very common for us to hear people say that they have somewhat of a good grasp on avoiding these mistakes, but there's so much that they don't know that they can't truly answer yes to that question. As a quick aside, if you're interested at this point in discussing your retirement further, you can click the first link in the description and myself and my team will take a look at your exact situation and help you come up with a game plan. Question three, can you effectively manage your emotions during market volatility and avoid making rash financial decisions? If you don't immediately know the answer, here's how you can tell. Reflect on how you handled previous bear markets. How did you respond during the last 2 or 3 major market events? Think about that and then consider that when you are retired, you're going to be more sensitive to what's going on because you're no longer working. You're relying on that money to provide for you, and that can change the way you feel about market volatility. People who seem to be okay with market volatility when they're younger find it more difficult after they're retired. And this is where having someone as a sounding board can really change things and make it better. And this is one of the most valuable things advisors provide retirees. It's simply reassurance. They help you shift your perspective so that you can see things accurately and stay focused on your plan. All right, question 4. Do you feel confident that your plan sets you up for success in retirement? If the answer is not an immediate yes, then it's a no. When you're answering this question, it might be helpful to write down a list of unanswered questions. Questions like, when should I claim my Social Security benefit? How much can I spend without running out of money? Can I afford to maintain my level of lifestyle with inflation? How much do I need in my portfolio to finally retire? How will I navigate healthcare costs throughout my retirement? Do I have opportunities to reduce my taxes in retirement? And that big question is what am I not thinking of? If you write that question down and then go research, what is it that I'm not thinking of that I should be thinking about? The interesting thing about these questions is they don't have textbook answers because they're often if-then. Okay, what I mean by that is it requires knowing your situation. Good financial planners walk you through answering these questions. The key to you feeling confident that your plan has been set up for success in retirement is to find the answers to these questions, and good financial planners walk you through discovering the answers for yourself. There was a guy who, in a roundabout way, told me that he was a yes for all of these questions so far, and he liked to read up and stay up to date on financial topics, and he felt like he was successful in preparing for his retirement. He felt confident in his overall plan. But he said something that we've heard other people say. He said, I can do all this, but what about my spouse? What about my wife? She's not going to be able to do this, especially when it comes to dealing with market volatility. And so that might be a consideration too, which leads us to another question, which is question number 5. Is your spouse on the same page with these questions? If they answer yes to all these questions, then great. If not, then there's a reason to begin to build a relationship with an advisor or a planner, because someday your spouse is going to need that relationship. And if you couldn't answer yes to all of those questions, you're not alone. This is why people search for professional help. Finding a good financial advisor can be hard. I'm pretty opinionated about it, to be honest, because I'm also pretty biased because I'm a financial planner myself and I own a financial planning firm where we do wealth management as well as tax planning, and we also build and manage retirement plans. But I'll give you some high-level next steps that you can follow when you're looking for someone. There is a big difference between planners and advisors. And in this video, I use advisor and planner interchangeably, and that's only because the general public does not distinguish the difference between the two, but there is a big difference. And speaking with many people, they almost always shake their head in agreement when we describe the difference. So in general, advisors talk to you about your portfolio, but when you ask them things about tax withdrawal strategies or the timing of benefits like Social Security or how to actually do a Roth conversion, the advisor tends to push that off. Whereas a planner, and specifically a certified financial planner, gets involved and acts more holistically. Which brings me to the certified financial planner. Certified financial planners are held to a much higher standard of training and ethics, generally speaking, than those who are not. Sure, there can be great planners out there who are not CFPs, but as the owner of a firm who does financial planning, the lead planners need to be CFPs. The next distinction to look for is fees versus products. This is a question about how people are paid. Professionals who use products get paid commissions as compared to professionals who are fee-based or fee-only. Fee-only means that they don't get paid commission. I think this is a motivating factor here. It's not uncommon for us to visit with some poor soul who has 80% of their retirement savings locked away in products, and yet they go searching for financial planning help. And sadly, we tell them that the people that sold them those products were paid for those products and they were compensated for several years of service to that client. Of course, that begs the question, if they were paid, then why weren't they giving you the planning service that you're looking for? And the response that often comes back is, I don't think they can, or I don't think they're capable. And that's my problem with products. They drive a behavior that's lower on the service side. So contrast product with fees. This is where the professional is getting paid a clearly stated fee, and it's usually based on the total account value. The motivation is to provide ongoing service because there's rarely any time commitment contract. All right, the third thing is the strategy they use. You want to make sure that you understand and feel comfortable with the strategy that they're going to be using for your plan. And there's a lot we could talk about here, but in general, you could categorize strategies in two different camps. And I'm going to tell you what those two camps are in their purest sense, but then I'm going to also let you know that they fall in a gradient between the two. I would call this safety first versus probability. Purely speaking, safety first is a strategy that uses annuities and insurance companies to guarantee certain outcomes, and probability is going to be using a diversified portfolio, investing in companies that have current yields, dividends, and a future expected growth. It's going to be more flexible than the insurance product route, but there are trade-offs between both schools of thought, and there's a gradient between the two that people may get a little bit of both. So somebody might be more insurance product light as compared to others, but of the many different ways that strategies for retirement planning can be named, they all fall into those two camps or a gradient of the two. So here are 3 questions you could ask yourself to help you when you're searching for an advisor. Number 1, do I understand and like the strategy? Number 2, am I okay with an advisor or do I want a planner? And as a side note, advisors do investments and they don't usually do planning, but planners usually do both planning and investments. And then question number 3, commissions or fees. Commissions are out of sight, out of mind. You may not truly know the cost. Fees are more in your face, clear and transparent. Now that you have a few of the key questions that you should answer to determine if you should hire a financial advisor, you can take the first step in gaining control of your retirement plan. However, if you find that you're answering no to these questions, or even you're questioning them yourself, you can click the link below and you can book a call at no cost where we'll answer any questions and look over your exact financial situation. I'll see you in the next one.